Hi, my name is Keegan Miller, and this is my Week 3 Assignment 3 for Professor Akers' class. This is the Innocence Criminal Brief, and this is about a case regarding Stephen Barnes, who was wrongly convicted back in the 1980s for a murder and a rape of a young woman just by almost coincidence. The facts of this case are as follows. In 1985, a young woman was walking from her home to meet a school friend and never returned. She was found the next day by the police, and she had been raped and murdered. After many long hours of interrogations and lab testing on Stephen Barnes' DNA samples, the police arrested him and charged him. He was sentenced based on 3 unvalidated scientific methods and sent to jail until he was exonerated in 2009 based on new DNA testing that ruled him out as a suspect. The procedural history includes issue from the Oneida County Court, where they decided based on the facts provided in the case and the statements given by criminalist Dr. Elaine Pagliaro and other analysts, who stated that aspects of the case regarding evidence might have matched the victim's clothing and hairs inconclusively. The jury ruled that he was convicted of these crimes, and the court decided to carry out that sentencing from the jury. And after the evidence was reexamined and found not to implicate Barnes, he was released from jail and exonerated. The issue at hand is whether the evidence given, including faulty scientific methods and sketchy witness testimony, should be allowed in order to convict someone of a crime. The court used eyewitness testimony, submitted DNA samples, and expert testimony from criminalists and analysts to make their decision. Naturally, the jury was the ones that ultimately made the decision, but the court was the ones that allowed this information to be admissible in court. They also admitted into evidence testimony from another inmate who claimed that Barnes admitted to the crimes. Based on all the evidence that the court had, they chose to convict Barnes. The rule in question is if it is constitutional to convict someone based on unvalidated scientific methods and sketchy witness testimony that is allowed to be entered in as evidence. Based on the supposed evidence and jury decision, the court first chose to still put Barnes in jail regardless of the fact that the evidence could not be proved without a reasonable doubt. Also, the methods used were not valid. However, the court chose to carry out the ruling as decided by the jury. Thus, their ruling seemed to approve of this terrible behavior. The application of the rule in this instance was that the court allowed what should have been at least partially inadmissible evidence to be allowed, and it influenced the way the jury chose to decide in this case. While the initial instance of the court ended up with Barnes behind bars, he was exonerated by additional evidence, including the admission of guilt by the real perpetrator of the crime. Though the initial court ruling to allow faulty scientific methods and testimony resulted in Barnes being put in jail, he was eventually released as a free man in 2008. Thank you.